Meet the Mathewsons. They're a dynasty of dealers.
It drives really well.
With a love of classics.
It's only condensation.
In Thornton-le-Dale, gateway to the North York Moors, they auction over 2,000 rare vehicles every year.
42,000, the ready type, the stunning car.
All walks of life. The cars fetch people together.
I'm ecstatic.
Head of the family, Derek.
It's got to be the best job ever, isn't it? We're sort of living a dream.
Trusted lieutenants, sons Paul.
Not everybody's cup of tea.
And Dave.
There's Dad's way. And there's Dad's way.
Keeping them all in check and dealing with the punters, Sarah.
Somebody could ring today with some fabulous vehicle that's been sat in a barn for 50 years. You have no clue.
It's the chase, it's finding it. So you get up every morning thinking, what am I going to find today?
This is a family's love affair with cars that have lived a life.
Someone's cherished a car and loved it, and I think it's just great. I think it's absolutely superb.
A passion that can be turned into brass. On sale this week.
1971 Triumph TR6.
I absolutely lusted after that car.
Little Daft Saloon, Daffy Duck.
They're just a really strange little car.
1965 Lotus.
We'll leave it just like that. Just take the chickens out and leave it at that.
Tell me what's easy about doing the memorabilia.
Nothing. None of it's easy.
It's the start of another day at Mathewsons, and it looks like it's going to be a busy one.
I always kept a shaver at work.
Hello, Mathewsons.
Good looks can be a curse, I've always heard.
You're right, and I feel sorry for the ugly guys. You got it? Okay, steady.
Delivering a 1935 Austin 10-4 open-road tourer is the first job on Dave's extensive list.
Right, try and get away in good time. Get ahead of the game a bit. We've got quite a lot of deliveries collections to make all in one day today. See how many we can do.
Dave's reputation is at stake. He's recently introduced a whole new way of working in the office.
So this is our new system, which is great. You know, it's good. These are all vehicles to collect in the Midlands. It ain't gonna work. Let's just put that out there. What everybody needs to understand is Derek loves collecting sheets of paper. So all that's going to happen, which I can actually see happening already, is his pile of paperwork, which is on there, has now been photocopied and put up there also.
Dave thinks they'll collect more vehicles and get home earlier. Today, 2 rare British sports cars from the North East region. But first, a time-saving detour.
We're going to view a little Mini. I don't know that much about it really, it's just come through on email. And while we were coming up the A19 today, I just said I'll swing off and have a look and just basically see what it's like.
This 1991 Mini Mayfair Auto has been punching above its weight, thanks to owner Craig Heaney.
I am selling my Mini Mayfair, a classic one, that I bought at the end of last year to use for my wedding as a wedding car. Bought it last year.
Okay.
Sills are good,
Yeah.
subframe's good.
Yep.
Do you want to take it out or?
No.
Sure.
We're up to our eyes in it today. I want to try and tick 6 boxes today. Yeah, old carpet. Looks like it wants Hoover.
I know. Yeah.
But the tiny wedding car is in good shape and excelled itself on the big day.
We actually only drove around the corner. From the church to our house is not very far, so we got waved off, drove off, drove round the corner, got out and got changed. My wife is 6'2".
No, my missus always looks down on me, but yours is definitely going to look down on you, isn't she? Oh man, you have to get some high heels out, okay, don't you?
My personal life doesn't have to be advertised on here.
What's he got to do, Craig, money-wise?
I want a reserve of £4 grand.
Right.
I think it's realistic.
We'll take it and try for 4 then, eh? Do you reckon? Is that right?
I think we might have a crack with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
The deal is done, but it's left Craig in a reflective mood.
Mixed feelings, actually. I thought I'd be fine with it, but yeah, it's even though it's been a short time, it's still a memory, you know, and it's an important one. So, but it'll find a good home now. I think it's meant to be. It's time for it to go.
Dave hits the road, fully committed to his new plan. But it's not long before he's squinting at the sat-nav.
Hey up, Jamie, it's Dave here. Keeps taking me into King Edward's Road. You all right there, mate? Okay. How are you doing? Yeah, good.
The Austin is dispatched.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Dave's determined to prove his new system works and make Mathewsons even more efficient.
Right, let's get on to the next one. We are behind now because we were supposed to be there at 2.
But the next one on his list could delay him even more.
It was just the look of them, the sound of them. They were blocked, they were square, they were mean, they had a road attitude. You could hear a one coming from the next village. I absolutely lusted after that car, and I thought one day I will have one.
And so it was. In 1997, Mike Robinson bought this K-Reg 71 Triumph TR6 for £8 grand.
When it worked, it was phenomenal, and when it didn't, it was a nightmare. And that's the way it is.
An Italian design smartly updated by Carmen of Germany gave Triumph a very British-looking classic. The 2.5-litre fuel-injected engine of the UK cars gave it plenty of oomph. But the US spec, with twin carbs, sold in much bigger numbers. In pimento, magenta, Tahiti blue or saffron, and with a price tag you could save up for, the TR6 out-muscled the MGB. But it was neutered by a power reduction in 1973. It may not be as rare or as valuable as a TR5, but the sound and sight of one of these on a country lane will still cause a heart flutter. On paper, Mike was one of the lucky ones. His TR6 had been extensively renovated by the previous owner, whose photos prove what a state it was in.
Sad, truly sad. Rusty, dirty, virtually no interior whatsoever. A lot of rot in the engine and this happened to there. That's the start of the restoration on it. Total body off. Bits of the car went to chassis builders, powder coated. It went to engine builders in Birmingham. It was super tuned. I mean, the guy cannot be married still after spending this. I tallied up on the bills and I got to excess of £15,000 and I stopped.
But surely, years of happy motoring for Mike? Not quite. He's hardly left the garage.
My wife didn't want to come out to us, just said, I don't particularly want to be driving along pulling wasps out of my hair.
Mike drove the car less than 100 miles in 20 years.
And then you look and you think to yourself, when you go out, are you going to get back?
The reality of classic car ownership on a budget has spoiled his dream.
When you talk to these guys who are right into them, I mean, if they've got a problem with a job, I mean, they go to the back of the garage and they put it on a lathe and they make it out of a lathe and you say, oh, you're an engineer? No, I just picked it up as I went. Well, I wouldn't know how to start a lathe. I wouldn't even know how to put a bolt in a chuck. I'm sure the back of it's been painted in blackboard paint, I'm sure of it.
That's an afternoon's job, isn't it? What's the important thing? As you well know, Well, it's these seams and the arches shuts and all the rest of it, which more than makes up for that. More than makes up for that. Yeah.
I think that you could spend 2,000 or 3,000 on this and get it up to speed.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. She won't run away too far. She's a bit bindy, isn't she?
Dave's worried the whole car might get up to speed. The brakes haven't been touched since the 90s.
Will it stop?
Would help if I had the steering lock off.
Do you want to push down?
Please.
This TR6 may need a bit of fettling, but it has all the makings of a great car.
Brill. Super.
I mean, to be honest, I haven't got a clue what the car's worth.
I think it'll do a bit more than you originally thought. I think the conversation you and I had, I think 13.5 was mentioned at some point. I think that is going to be achievable. If the body was average, I'd say you're looking at more like a 10 grand car.
Right. That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Mike's admission of defeat probably means his much-loved Triumph will be given a second lease of life. But it's still tough saying goodbye.
We'll find a good home for it, don't worry. OK. I'll press off, Mike. Thanks ever so much.
Well, there we go. Done. I feel a bit emotional now. Sorry. It's like one of your children going. Not good at all.
There's likely to be a lot of interest in the TR6, a popular classic in a good colour. But it won't be the rarest on the trailer today. Dave has one more to collect. Another iconic British sports car that he won't mind messing up his schedule for. In the garage, Derek is sorting out some tasty memorabilia.
Lot number 183 is homemade pasty. Look at this, look. Oh, it's not. It's pork pie.
So you'll be having a bid on that one, will you?
You're having a bid on that one, lot number 183. Yeah, make a note of it. Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, Dave is still in the northeast, behind schedule.
That nav has taken us the long way round. Hey, Terry, it's Dave here. You OK?
His new plan for multiple pickups from the same region is looking shaky.
Can I just double check your postcode? It's a joy, innit? It's the trouble when you try and tackle too much, I think, mate.
But a consolation prize awaits.
Bought the car in 1990, £1,800.
Canny man is the phrase that comes to mind for owner Tom Cotterill.
I mean, a Lotus Cortina is not something you say every day. When you mention the word Lotus, a lot of people's ears prick up, you know.
When Ford put a Lotus twin cam into 1,000 family saloons and sold them to the man in the street, they changed motoring. A Cortina with aluminium panels, a Lotus badge in the middle of the steering wheel, and a green flash down the side that could do 128 miles an hour. Jim Clark won the Saloon Car Championship in one, Roger Clark the Welsh Rally, and Bengt Söderström the RAC. Its place in history was sealed. A good one is worth £50,000, a great one, 75. John Whitmore's car in this picture, with its race pedigree, sold for £191,000. Tom's son, Terry, was in his 20s when they bought the car.
That's it there. It's a Lotus twin cam. It's never actually been running. Bought the car, and as a precaution, we took the plugs out of it and poured oil down the bores, and the engine still turns over now. It's not seized or anything, but apart from that, we haven't done any work on it. The wheels aren't standard. We assume the car's had a reshell and it's passed.
So it's not moved for 29?
No, it's not moved anywhere. It's just been here for 29 years, unfortunately. This is here. It was always on the back burner to do, but just never seemed to get done.
Right. Let's Gonna have a look and see what crack is.
With 2 good cars loaded, this is already a decent haul. And with Dave's love of Fords and rallying,
Cracking, isn't it?
he saved the best till last.
Oh! Cracking! That's a good workshop for you as well, isn't it? Look at that whole thing there, look at that.
It's had no work to on it.
We'll leave it just like that. Exactly like that. You know, dust and crap and dirt and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Just take the chickens out and leave it at that. Mint job.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Sorry to see it go for the fact that it didn't get around to putting it right. I realised that if we started the Lotus, it would be a big job. You're pulling it to bits and building it up. And I wouldn't like to see it not being put back the way it should. If you're going to do the job, you've got to do it right. I just haven't got the strength now to get on with it.
That'll do. Turn her off.
Tom's Lotus Cortina could sell for 20 grand. As for Dave, his new way of working won't be getting him home any earlier today.
6:15, 100-mile home. Oh yeah, we're going to be 8:30 at least, aren't we? 8:45 on a good day. Yeah, which is annoying.
Where's that Swan Vesta thermometer? Is it still in the window?
Every month, nearly 300 items of memorabilia are auctioned at Mathewsons.
South Norfolk area timetable, still in there.
Each artefact needs a scale photograph for the website,
It's 3 inches, mate.
a lot number,
145,
And the reserve price?
£30.
Tell me what's easy about doing the memorabilia.
Nothing. None of it's easy. What do you mean easy? It is a living nightmare. Right, David won't do it, Paul won't do it, Derek refuses to do it.
The only person Sarah can rely on is Phil.
Deaf as a post. ITP.
A mate of Derek since they were teenagers, Phil now volunteers on a regular basis.
There's things that I'd rather be doing, really.
Sarah versus memorabilia.
What's my name then?
Not good.
It obviously belongs to someone who hasn't filled in a form.
She is Mrs. OCD.
So lot 50 then, I'll have to just put a question mark, don't know who it is.
And there's no OCD out there, is there?
Where's the other two? Where's the other two of those? See what I'm saying?
Ask the man.
What do you do? Do what you do. Where are the other two of those?
Where's what?
Where's the other two? Why? It's 3 together.
I should have put that one in the window as well.
So let me just check. He's put nothing else in the window. They're not in the window. I know they're not. Are they on just on the floor?
Are you actually on the phone, Derek, or are you just pretending to be busy?
No. Are they over there? They're over there somewhere, aren't they? Did I see them over there?
No. Derek moves everything and then he pays me to basically find it.
I actually haven't got a clue what couch you're talking about, but you don't know that, of course. Did you find them? Did you find them, Austin?
What?
What were you
Yeah,
looking for?
them down there.
Ah, right, yeah.
How cute is he? That's going to be 165. It's a lovely box full of old joiner's tools. Isn't that lovely? Someone's cherished those items and they've been his livelihood. And now they're here at Mathewsons, getting shoved around.
Frustrating as it is, auto memorabilia is still an important part of the business.
I know we all take the mickey and we roll our eyes and we're like, ugh, this is just rubbish. But every sale we sell 80% of automobile at every sale. So we're doing something right, aren't we? You know.
22 cast Michelin man on a money box, £28.
2 Tryon, 1950s. Grand burn hunt were.
Congratulations on the truncheon.
Thank you very much.
I got a very good deal. I got them all for £30.
And first up for the full-size cars, the humble Mini Mayfair from 1991. Nobody's considering it for a wedding, but there has been a lot of interest.
Very endearing cars. Even now, they're really popular now. They're going up in value, so I think now's the time to buy one. I might be tempted to put a little cheeky bid on. You never know.
Rover Mini Mayfair, auto, 1991. Start me on it, MOT till September. Where are we going to be with it? Come on, where? 222, 22, 24, 2,400. Got you, 2,400. 26, 28, 2008, 3,000, 32, 32 this side. Gentlemen this side, you're both out that side, chaps. 32, 34, 3,004 in the seats in the blue. 36, 3,006 standing. 38, 4, 4,001, 4,001 in the blue. 4,001, you're outstanding. 42, back in. 4,003, back of the seats. 4,003 and away. 4,4 he says. 4,004 on its way and selling. 4,004 this side. What do you think, chaps? 4,005. 4,005, 6 in blue. 4,006, shaking his head that side. Are you sure? 4,6. Sold 4,6. Thank you very much.
Previous owner Craig is here to bid it farewell.
We've sold my wedding car. It's gone. Realistically, it got the amount that I think is right. So yeah, it was spot on. And it's a lovely car, and we're both pleased, and we're very happily married. So all's good in my world.
You never really know what you're getting when you buy a vehicle at auction. But a good, honest description is what potential buyers rely on. Derek's grandson, Charlie, is getting a lesson in the rules of the business.
Now, this here Cortina, or Cortina as we say in London, it's a Cortina. What do we know about this Cortina, Charlie?
It's been reshelled, so technically it's not a Lotus Cortina. It's just got engine and gearbox.
Been modified.
Yeah.
But there's the most important thing, isn't it? There is 5,000 quid there, yeah? There you go, exactly right. So it's not an original Lotus body shell, but it's someone's way into the Lotus Cortina market, which most people will find very difficult to get into because of the cost and the money. And let's face it, you can pay £45,000, £50,000 for a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina, and it could still be wonky. So I think the car is probably as much as 20 grand, and you're buying a 20 grand Mark 1 Cortina with a Lotus twin cam engine, plus whatever else. Bit of common sense in that, really.
Also readying itself for sale is the TR6 PI. This one, with its reserve of £13,500, is a less complicated affair.
They've increased in value quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 years, but they're still affordable, in my opinion. I think so. They're a funny car, of course, in as much as they got a bad name. With the injection system, obviously, it's the first thing that goes wrong. But you get used to them and you improve on them, and consequently they become a little bit easier to run.
Agreeing wholeheartedly with that are 4 members of the multinational TR Register, a huge club devoted to this single make of car.
The TR Register, nowhere's far in a TR. They'll always get you there, they'll always get you back. You can build these vehicles back up to a tremendous specification, like modern electronic ignition units, Bosch fuel pump conversions, which this car has. You get a reliable vehicle.
Well, my midlife crisis started fairly young. I had a couple of Triumph Spitfires, and I thought, they're nice, but I want the big boys toy. We're all slightly eccentric in our own little way, because on a purely practical basis, that is not the best car in the world.
Like bees to nectar, they're drawn to Mathewsons to check out the latest TR6 to go on the market.
Roughly 6. It's over here.
It's been dressed hard, hasn't it?
Interior.
It's a CP engine, so it's the right engine for the car, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got the right manifolds on them.
Right manifolds.
One of the group, Simon, seems particularly interested.
What do you reckon, Roger? Is it worth a punt?
It certainly is.
Meanwhile, Dave is on the road again and trying to work out the best route to the Wirral to collect a very different sort of classic.
They're just a really strange little car. They're just odd. Just an odd little thing, really.
Not only is today's car Dutch, it's also virtually impossible to understand how it works. This eccentric DAF 33 from 1972 is currently owned by Marcus Hastad.
I've always had something mechanical around. I've never had anything posh because I'm not a rich man. This is a fun car. I've had it about 9 years. I don't go long distances in it.
So what massive power plant is hiding under here?
750cc air-cooled flat twin. So if you don't put pedals to the metal, you don't get anywhere in one of these things.
Most people buy a car on looks or performance, not Marcus.
I was intrigued by their method of transmission. Forward to go forward and back to go back. Belt drive. It produced power exactly what you wanted, when you wanted it. Changes down automatically, infinitely variable. But you just didn't have to worry about anything at all, really. All you had is a stop and go. It's rather like driving an electric car, I suppose, although I've never done that.
It's called Continuously Variable Transmission, CVT. Complicated, but ahead of its time.
And it developed, of course, into the CVT gearbox that we know in quite a lot of modern cars, which were also developed by the same chap, Van Doorn, who designed the DAFs.
Marcus believes that there are only 9 of these left running in the UK, and rarity means value, sometimes.
All the joys. We don't get involved with that many DAFs. I can only count 3 or 4, I think, that we've ever got involved with. So,
OK, Dave?
Yeah, fine, thank you, Marcus. Yeah, super.
Are you familiar with these or not?
Pretty much, yeah.
It has to be started in gear, you know, not in neutral.
Oh, is that right? Oh, right, I wasn't aware of that one.
It's in back now.
Right, OK.
OK.
They don't start in neutral, sorry?
No, you only use neutral for working on the engine. That doesn't work. Turn it on.
Yeah.
Under here, upwards.
Ah. Sneaky. Super.
You've not driven one then before, then?
Yeah, but about 5 or 10 years ago, I think, at least. Yeah. They haven't improved. Super.
For all of Dave's lack of interest, he's still happy to present a masterclass about the DAF's inner workings.
Small cog, little cog. The big cog, the faster the engine spins, I can't think of the terminology now. The larger cog contracts and grips the elastic band. Hydrostatic. I can't quite think how it's called. It's almost like a starter motor when the speed of the starter motor throws the drive gear, the dog gear in.
Maybe we'll come back to that later. Because this DAF 33 is one of the very last in existence, its value is another unknown.
Can you remember what you paid for the DAF? Or...
I think it was about 400.
So if you get 410, you'll have made a profit.
I want a bit more than that nowadays, I think.
I suppose the advantage is you can dictate the value, can't you? So if you've got all the DAFs and somebody particularly wants one, if they've recently been released and they feel the need to own one before they get captured again, then yeah, you can do it, can't you?
Dave risks being thousands out on the valuation, but with Derek not here, he's going to have to step up to the plate.
What did your dad think about that one?
Well, we haven't spoken about it, so I'm not sure really. If you want me to get him to give you a ring after he's seen it,
yes,
I can do that.
Yes,
I'll put on there Derek to call.
Nicely played. Derek will need to attend to it soon because Marcus has plans.
Thank you very much. What will Marcus be buying?
Possibly another mobility scooter.
Yeah, I'm thinking of organising a mobility scooter Grand Prix. We've got about 500 floating around this area. They're a damn nuisance, except the one I drive. I'm thinking of having it fitted with little scythes on the wheels, like Boadicea's chariot.
Going down to the coast for a few days, shall I go on the scooter or shall I take the DAF?
What would you do?
Get a long extension lead and take the scooter, I think.
Marcus will have to wait for that valuation. But the much maligned DAF could surprise us all. Back at base, Mike's TR6 is about to be auctioned. The adulation continues.
It's the bodywork, isn't it, really? The bodywork's a critical bit.
Yeah.
The engine, you can mess around with, the body is the most important. And this is a tidy example.
I've always been after a classic car, and I've looked at several different types, and this one's just stood out for me. It's a very vibrant colour, nice and bright. Didn't want anything too dull, really, anything dark. I think the guide price is about 13. I might go over to 15.
Right, here we go. Lot number 34, 1971, Triumph TR6, red one. Very, very straight car. Put a bid with me. Start me where we're going to be. Where? 12, 11, 11,000, we're off. 11,000, 11,500, 11,500, 11,500, 12, 12,000 pounds, 12,000, 12,500, 12,500, standard in green, 12,500, 12,500, 12,500. 13, 13, down the middle, 13, you're out this side, 13,500, 13,500, standing, 13,500, 13,500, submitting for the first, second, third and last time, 13,500.
Simon Stock followed the TR expert's advice, took a punt and won. He's also very pleased with his memorabilia buys.
Nuts and bolts, obviously this is the lot we went for.
And the best sign in the sale.
Totally.
Why did you buy them?
We need them for a restoration we're doing. And we need that because we just like it.
Last on the list from Dave's Northeast collection, the Lotus Cortina.
Just the rarity of them, and in this condition it's unbelievable.
It's a complex car to value. Lotus engine, Cortina body, rare, but not the real deal.
What's it worth in Australia then?
Heaps, I couldn't tell you.
It's a car I've always wanted, but never really been in a position to afford to buy one. And after a lifetime of scrimping and saving, I'm maybe in with a chance.
It's got the Lotus engine, which is that's what you're looking for, isn't it?
I think there'll be a lot of interest in this car.
Someone will snap it up very quickly.
Cortina, lot number 183. 1965 Cortina Mark 1 Lotus recreation. Obviously been reshelled at some stage. Could have been a long time ago by the looks of it. Wants a little bit of work. Start me on it. Where are we going to be with it? Got a bid with me in now. 10. Got a bid here on my books. Cheeky one, I know. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14,000. 14. 14,000 and going then. 14. 14,500. 15. 15,000. 15. Going then. 15,000. Going to submit it. 15,000. Is the 5 anywhere? 15,000. We're going to submit. 15,000. Is the 5 anywhere? 15,000. Last time looking round, we're going to submit 15,000 pounds. 15,000.
Below reserve. But one-off cars like this are only worth what someone else will pay. The Cortina will get the renovation it deserves. And that's enough for previous owner Tom.
It was a bit apprehensive coming up to when this came on the market, but quite happy with the sale. Thought it was good. It went right.
So Dave's marathon trip north was well worth the effort. Nearly £32,000 of sales. Not a bad day out. Derek's in at the crack of dawn, a chance to familiarise himself with the cars he's about to sell, starting with one of the most confusing.
Here it is. Your little daft, she's a 33, isn't she? Little 33 Variamatic. We didn't really understand them too much. The general public didn't really comprehend quite how good they are. And I can remember picking one up in London, coming around the North Circular and all them traffic lights and such like, and when you slowed down, the engine speeded up. It was quite odd. It was quite a weird feeling. They were probably the first automatic, small automatic, marketed in this country that actually probably worked or was any good.
Derek thinks it's worth between 2,000 and 3,000, but it needs the right buyer.
The only people that really wanted a small automatic car were the elderly people, which explains why it was only the elderly people that bought one. I wouldn't mind betting it will sell to somebody whose dad had one. I wouldn't mind betting that was it.
We'll soon find out. But before that, Dave wants another go at explaining how it works.
One big rubber, like alternator belt, like drive belt, and a couple of spinning wheels, yeah. So as the engine spins, the cones, which are shaped into a V, contract, and the belt rides up and away you go in the drive you get, yeah. So it is very much elastic band, yeah. It's just one great big elastic band, yeah.
As the auction crowds gather, Derek is suited and booted and all ready for business.
I've been in early, so I've got on. I've never been so forward, really.
I'm actually busy.
Auction starts at 12 o'clock for vehicles, and it's lot number 188.
Bagatelle?
Bagatelle.
And the baby
with
one.
balls.
Well, this is my first time at an auction, believe it or not. And my other half decided that this was really good for our new kitchen. But for some reason, and I can't imagine why, I decided I like Vespa motorbikes. I paid £11 for that.
The gentleman is looking for £500. Yeah, real quiet.
Most of the vehicles are attracting the right sort of attention.
Anything Ford that's old seems to fetch mega money.
If I was looking for a car, that's certainly the quality level I'd look for.
But there's one that seems hindered by its image. The DAF 33.
Who owned these back in the day?
Oh, definitely the vicar or schoolmaster.
You interested in the DAF Variamatic?
Possibly not.
No, why not?
I still think it's me. Nice condition though, isn't it? Very nice.
Which is your preference?
DAF for me. Easier to repair. Much easier to repair. And you probably kill yourself in that quite easily, where probably never ever kill yourself in a DAF.
Choosing a DAF over a Porsche might mean Frank and David know how it works. One last chance.
The slide along two cones.
Yeah, just on a cone.
Slowing down, it goes slower. Speeding up, it goes faster. Sliding up the cones. Very easy.
Little DAF saloon. Daffy Duck, lovely little thing, 1973. Forward to go forward, back to go back. Lovely little bit of kit, MOT till January 2019. In maroon, bonny little thing. Where are we going to be with that? Start me. We're £2,000 for it. Come on, we know what it's worth. 15, 16, 17, 18, 1800, 18. 18 the DAF, 19. £1,900 the little DAF, 1900. 19 and going then, £2,000. Seated, £2,000. £2,000 provisional only, but we'll talk. £2,000 last time. Provisional 2,000.
A bit less than expected, but highest bidder Eric Bulmer is in with a shout.
What would you like me to do?
A quick call to the vendor confirms. £2,000 is enough.
I had one years and years ago, many years ago. I've wanted one since. There's no real street cred with them or anything like that, but I like the idea.
And after so much confusion surrounding its mechanics, Eric's in no doubt about why he likes them.
Simplicity. Not long ago I had to have left shoulder replaced. I said to my wife that I just love a DAF 33.
As for the TR6, it's now rubbing shoulders with some giants. At a newly opened showroom, store and garage for some very nice classics.
We're actually at phase 1 of our project, where we've opened the restoration workshop, whereby we'll be able to do all of the engine building, powder coating, all the little bits and pieces you need to do for restoration of classic and vintage cars.
Manager Simon Stock has bought the TR6 as the garage runabout.
It's just such a lovely vehicle that we just have to have it.
But this car has been driven less than 100 miles in 20 years. It hasn't been started for the last 10.
Junk leads, right?
Today, Simon's chief mechanic, Roger, will be attempting the impossible.
Check the ignition system, go through, check all the gaps on the plugs, the points, make sure we've got sparks, and then hopefully she'll fire up. I know she'll fire up.
Right, do you want to grab them too, Si?
It could be Roger's finest hour. A clear head and military precision is what's needed.
Okay.
Pull enrichment out, Si.
Enrichment locked.
Ready, just turn the ignition on.
On.
Spin her over. Come on. Whoa. So we've got some fuel up. Whoa.
Enrichment out, still full.
Yeah, leave it pulled out.
Yeah.
Go for it, bit of throttle. Right, keep it going.
Right, I'll have to do it again.
Leave me on throttle, I'll get it running.
Right.
Go on again.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, all right.
Oh, turn it off. Got fuel leak. Turn it off.
Off.
The TR6's corroded plumbing has let go. But the signs of life from the original engine are good news.
The engine were free, it were rolling round, got a spark on it. It's like Sleeping Beauty, just needed that little bit of a kiss there. It's come back alive again, and it sort of grows on you. It's just an inanimate object when it isn't running, but when it's running, it's alive, and it kind of like tempts people.
People like you.
Definitely people like me.
In a field near Bridlington, Eric Bulmer is arriving for a meeting organised by the East Yorkshire Thoroughbred Car Club. Far from being embarrassed by his DAF 33, he's keen to show it off.
It's surprising how many people actually know about them or have had them. The last car show we went to was at Soulby Park, and quite a few people came over to talk to us about it, having owned one like 30 years ago.
And Eric remains a big fan of the DAF's revolutionary engineering.
Quite comfortable, quite easy. I mean, you're only using 1 foot. I love it. Very light on steering. You get it up to the cruising speed you want and lift your foot off the accelerator and everything quietens down and it just cruises along. Before I bought it, I asked Derek if it ran well, and he said it did, and 9 times out of 10 he's right.